Okay, we stopped yesterday at memory cells, and we said that memory cells are long-lasting lymphocytes or white blood cells that stay after the person gets the infection, because lymphocytes actually were expanding, were multiplying in order to beat the invader or the pathogen. That's why they were reproducing very fast with antibodies in order to attack the pathogen. Today we are going to talk about vaccination. Vaccination also depends on the memory cells produced by lymphocytes after get the infection. But vaccine is when someone gets an injection of dead or altered form of the pathogen. When we say dead, that means that we have the shape of the pathogen or of the microbe itself, but this pathogen now is dead, is not active anymore. It cannot reproduce or multiply once it gets into the host body. When we say altered, altered means that we have also the shape of this pathogen, but it may not be dead, it may be weakened. In another way, it is weakened now, it is weak, but it has the same shape of the pathogen. No change for the antigen that it carries on its surface. As we know that every pathogen has antigens. These antigens work as markers for lymphocytes to recognize them and to say that these are non-self cells. Let's attack them. So these antigens, they are kept the same. They are not removed or eliminated, but the pathogen itself inside, it is now weak or it is dead. So that's why in vaccine they alter the activity of the pathogen, but the shape, the antigen, the same. So now, the vaccine, the person gets vaccination, so that means it gets the pathogen itself. The shape of the pathogen, the same antigen, so contains specific antigens to be introduced into the body. So here, in this stage, when someone is vaccinated, he gets the pathogen, but he doesn't get the illness or the disease. But this antigen, which is found on the surface of the pathogen, it provokes means stimulates or makes the immune response to release antibodies against this antigen. So lymphocytes produce the complementary antibodies for this antigen, or the specific antibodies for against this antigen, and now they multiply, and we have now memory cells. These memory cells circulate in the body for long time, or they stay for a long period of time. Once this person gets the pathogen itself that he was vaccinated against, but this time the pathogen, when he gets the infection, the pathogen now is active. Once the pathogen gets inside the body, the memory cell now are available. So lymphocytes don't take that much time to multiply or to recognize this pathogen, because already they recognize it before. They already have memory cells in the blood with the antibodies against this antigen. Okay, here we have a diagram that shows what happens in vaccination. As we see, harmless pathogen injected into the body, weakened, we said, or dead, not active pathogen, but they contain the antigen. Do you see that these antigens? So the antigens are available. So lymphocytes can make antibodies against these antigens, can recognize them. Now, antigens trigger, stimulate, provoke, okay, immune response to make antibodies against. Here, lymphocytes, they reproduce to make antibodies. And now we have memory cells stay because they cannot be broken down easily. They stay for a long period of time, or long-term immunity, we call it. And now the person is called immunized against this pathogen. Immunized. Okay. Vaccine is very important. That's why children should be vaccinated once they are newly born babies until 1.5 or 2 years. And sometimes some people, they should get vaccinated against other diseases even they are adult, such as tetanus. um, Tetanus, when someone gets injured deeply and there's a deep cut or open in his skin, that's why the doctor immediately gives him a tetanus vaccination. And inshallah, we will tell you how this vaccine is different from the vaccine of babies. Now, so here, the children, they get the vaccine of different shapes of pathogens for different diseases that are widely common spread in the world. That's why these diseases were contagious in the last, such as smallpox, measles, and now they are much less spread because of vaccines. Now, when children regularly checked and vaccinated against these pathogens that cause these diseases, they they cannot transmit the disease to other children. So listen up. This is a very important point that you have to know. How the vaccine controls the spread of diseases. When children get vaccinated against, for example, let's say smallpox, okay, these children, once they get the pathogen of the smallpox, then the pathogen cannot reproduce, because already now these children have memory cells against this pathogen. So pathogen cannot continue its activity inside the body, and it is now beaten by this by this antibody, or by this memory cell that already is found in the blood. So now, in this case, the disease is not contagious. It cannot be transmitted, or it is not infectious. It couldn't be transmitted from one person, the person that he is vaccinated, to another person. Okay, but if the person is not vaccinated and he gets the pathogen, then this person can transmit or gets the infection to others, because now the pathogen is active and can reproduce inside the body, because we don't have memory cells to attack. Memory cells take longer time in order to make the specific antibodies against this antigen. So very important that population should be vaccinated against these diseases, especially between children, such as poliomyelitis that causes paralysis, permanent paralysis in kids, and it stays for the rest of life. Smallpox, the same. It causes scars. It may cause blindness in the eye with high fever. That's why if the children are not vaccinated, they're gonna get the severe symptoms. They may die and they transmit these contagious diseases to other children in the population. Okay. Vaccination is shown in your book, page 134. Now let's move and talk about passive and active immunity. And vaccination is included in one of these. Page 135. Passive and active immunity. Now, when we say active immunity is a defense against a pathogen by antibody production in the body. Okay? So, active immunity, when you get the pathogen itself with the antigen on its surface. So your body now is provoked or stimulated to make antibodies against this antigen. Okay? So here we call it active. So active when your body makes its own antibodies by being exposed to the pathogen with its antigens. Okay? This is what we call it active. Passive, when your body is given already made antibodies. It is not given pathogen. It is given already made antibodies by someone else, and these antibodies injected inside your body. Okay, and now I'll tell you when this happens, or when do we vaccinate people with antibodies and when do we vaccinate them with pathogen. Let's talk about the first one, active immunity. Active immunity, you have to know the main differences between active and passive. They are already underlined here. The first one, that active, the body is exposed to antigen, to the pathogen itself. So the body is provoked to make antibodies by lymphocytes. That's why it takes days or weeks to find the suitable or the fit or the complementary antibodies against this antigen. But here we have memory cells, and these memory cells stay for long period of time. They may be long lasting, even lifelong. So here are the main points for active immunity. Let's go to passive. Passive, when the body is given already made antibodies. So antibodies already made, they are given. So this is immediate, because once the antibodies are given or injected inside the body, they go and fight the antigen directly because already they actually have been made. So the body doesn't need time to make them. Already they are made and taken from other organisms and injected inside the patient. So now they go and find their target and attack or fight. So this is immediate because it is not produced by the body. Antibodies already, they have been made. Short, it is short. It doesn't stay for a long period of time because they are broken down and they may only stay for several weeks. Now, here are where we have passive and active, examples of passive and active. Here is active. Active, when antigens by pathogens received. So here, the body is injected by weakened or dead antigen, and your body now is making antibody against this antigen, and this happens by vaccination, as we talked about it before. Vaccination. The other case, when already natural active, when you already get the infection, when you get the flu, a special type of flu, when you get any other disease from the environment around you, when you are not injected, but you get it from other people. So here you are getting the pathogen, such as coronavirus COVID-19 right now. It is being transmitted from one person into another. We are not being vaccinated yet. We haven't found the vaccine. At the same time, people are getting it by transmission. It is a transmissible, it is a pandemic disease. It's transmitted from one person into another. So these people get it naturally. They get the pathogen inside their bodies naturally, and their body now is making antibodies against. That's why they may feel fever, other symptoms. It takes time, and so on, to fight. And some people cannot fight it if they have weak immune system. So active when you already get the pathogen itself, either naturally when you catch the disease from the environment or by vaccine. That's why vaccine is very important in COVID-19. If the population Actually, if the populations were vaccinated by COVID-19, it would not be transmitted in this way because the virus could not reproduce inside the vaccinated body and it could not be transmitted into another bodies. Now, passive, we said when you get the antibodies, already made antibodies, okay, already made by other people or by other organisms, and these antibodies kept in order to be to be included in the vaccines. Now we have injections. When someone, I said, gets a deep cut or wound, when he gets deep cut or wound, or anything that may get deep inside your skin, as we know that because the skin is a barrier. So when there is a deep cut or wound inside your body, so many germs may get. Now the barrier, now the physical barrier, which is the skin, is removed. So now microbes can get inside. And one of the familiar diseases that you may get when you get cut deep or you get deep cut or wound is tetanus. That's why you are injected immediately with the antibodies. They don't give you the pathogen because there is no time to give you the pathogen until your body is provoked to make new antibodies against this pathogen. They give you the antibodies directly to fight directly, okay? Because tetanus causes paralysis. It releases toxins, affects the nervous system, causes paralysis, okay? Same as rabies, which is caused by dogs. If someone gets rabies when he's bitten by dogs or bats or cats, whatever, and he may get rabies, immediately the doctors inject this person with antibodies of rabies because there is no time to give him the pathogen to be provoked to make antibodies. Already they give him antibodies to fight immediately. Okay, natural passive, from mother from mothers to their kids, such as when babies feed on their mom's milk, breastfeeding, they get already made antibodies by the mom, and these antibodies pass through the mom's milk to the babies, or by placenta when the mom is pregnant. And as we know, placenta, you're going to take it inshallah in grade 10. A placenta allows diffusion of substances between the mom and the baby, and one of the substances that could diffuse are antibodies. Okay, so you have to know these examples very well, and you have to know the difference between active and passive, as here this slide and the definition of each. Now let's go to autoimmune diseases, page 137. When we say autoimmune, auto, it means by its own. Auto, when we say automatic, it works by its own. So auto, it works by its own. Immune, it refers to immune system. So autoimmune diseases, the diseases that occurs within the immune system when the immune system cannot work properly. The immune system, okay, the immune system should attack invaders or foreigners, pathogens, microbes, because they have markers, antigens that say we are non-self, attack us. But our cells contain markers that say we are self cells, don't attack us. So the immune system should not attack your body. But sometimes a disorder happens within the immune system because of environmental factors or genetic factors, may cause the immune system mistakenly attack the self cells or attack your body. So here, an autoimmune disease, the immune system mistakes part of your body like your joints or skin. So when we have an autoimmune disease, maybe the immune system or the white blood cells attack your joints. That's why you have rheumatoid arthritis. It may attack your skin, such as lupus. You have rashes and so on. Or it may attack special cells in the pancreas. As we know, the pancreas is a gland. It works in the digestive system, releasing enzymes, and it works in other system in homeostasis in order to release insulin. Insulin regulates blood glucose. If blood glucose goes above the level, then insulin is being produced by the pancreas to lower it. That's why when these cells are attacked, and they are called beta cells, when these cells are attacked, so insulin could not be made anymore. So blood glucose here cannot be controlled. So the patient should take shots or injections of insulin. And this type, we call it type 1 diabetes, and it is mainly juvenile diabetes, happens in kids because of autoimmune disorder. This may be cause environmental factors, as we said, genetic factors. Environmental factors include maybe viral attack. When some kids suffer from severe fever, when they have viral infection, after a while they discover that their pancreas is not working properly and they got type 1 diabetes. Type 2 diabetes, that happens in old people or adult, happens because already the pancreas is working and the insulin is being produced, but the cells are not receiving, the receptors to receive insulin are not working. So insulin is not removed, but they have insulin, okay? That's why if they work out, if they follow diet, they can beat it. No need to know type 2, but you should know type 1 because it is an example of autoimmune disease, that the white blood cells go and attack the pancreas. They do not recognize that pancreas is a self cell. They think that pancreas is an invader or foreigner from outside, such as pathogen. That's why they go and attack it, destroying it. You have to know that diabetes should be controlled because high blood sugar can lead to damage in the blood vessels as well as other organs, the heart, kidneys, eyes, and nerves. Thank you.